Hello and welcome back to my channel. A K-pop survival show named Island just ended recently, so I want to give all my thoughts and opinions on the show, as well as my thoughts on ENHYPEN. This video will be very long, so I will leave timestamps here and in the description. I don't need a disclaimer, so let's just jump right in. What is Island? In case you have been living under a rock, Island is a K-pop survival show formed by Believed Lab, which is a joint company between both Big Hit and CJE and M Entertainment. There are two separate parts to Island and both parts work differently. In part 1, there are 23 trainees. They all had to compete against one another through the concept of having Island and ground. Island is some sort of paradise with modern living spaces, a gym, dance studios and individual practice rooms. However, only 12 contestants can stay there, a fixed number 12, no more and no less. The others will be on the ground, which is a simple building with a dance studio and a dining area. You can see a significant difference in both Island and ground. Whoever stays in Island or ground will be based on their performances. Each test is different on how they decide. I won't go into the details, but throughout part 1, they will switch members from Island and ground based on their performance. The switch is decided by the participants and producers' votes. Only 12 would move on to part 2. At the end of part 1, the participants and producers decide on 6 members to move on to part 2, while the other 6 are decided based on online voting. From there, they will go through even more tests. But this time, there is no ground. They will eliminate one person from the show each episode. The person who gets eliminated is solely based on the producers and global voting. After that, the final 7 was decided. The final lineup consists of, from 1st to 7th, Jungwon, Jae, Jake, Nikki, Heesung, Sunghoon, and Sunu. Excuse the robot's pronunciation, thanks. Now that I have told you what the show is about, go watch it if you haven't already. I'll link the episodes in the description. Now let's get on with my opinions. The positives. Let's start this on a positive note. Firstly, I am so grateful to Big Hit and Mnet because they made the full episodes of Island live on YouTube at 11:15 p.m. KST every Friday. In my country, it comes out at 10:15 p.m. For other K-pop survival shows, I had to search up the episodes online and watch it through unsecured websites on Google. So when Big Hit and Mnet made the episodes easily available to viewers all over the world, I was ecstatic. So every Friday night I always looked forward to a new episode. I could not wait to see all the boys and watch their performances. When Road to Kingdom ended, I needed another K-pop survival show to entertain me. Then Island came out and it became my new form of entertainment. I loved the show. I loved all the boys and all their performances. I will even go as far as to say that it is one of my favorite K-pop survival shows. For now, my favorite parts of the show were definitely the ones when they played games, or basically when they did anything fun. It includes the time when the Ace Trio went out, the time they were outside the building, the little reunion of all the participants, just to name a few. I kept laughing and it was really fun to watch. I got to know more about all the boys and started to gain some connection to them. It might be because they are all around my age, but I just feel so connected to them even before debut. I just love seeing the boys together, and I really can't wait to see more from all 23 contestants in the future. To those who made it to ENHYPEN, congratulations, I'm so happy for all of you. And to all those who didn't make it, I love you and you did your best. Keep looking forward and never give up on your dream. I really hope to see you more on stage one day. Us Eggies will all wait for you. The negatives. In life, I believe that every good thing has its bad side. Nothing is perfect. As much as I really loved the show, there are a couple of underlying problems I have. Since it's an Mnet survival show, it has Mnet's evilness all over it. The underage trainees. Daniel is the youngest on the show. He is currently 14 by international age. Only 3 of them are above the age of 20 and about half of them is under 18. K-pop has a dark side. A really dark side. Debuting minors and exposing them to the public eye is something that bothers me. I understand that trainees are very passionate about being an idol. I also understand that it was probably their choice to be on the show. But K-pop is a commitment. Once you become famous, there's no turning away from the fame. And being famous has a lot of downsides. The sexualization, the hate, which I will address later, the harsh criticisms, lack of privacy, and even more disturbing stuff. Literal children should never be experiencing this. It can horrendously affect their mental health at such a young age. K-pop companies including Mnet keeps doing this, like Wonyoung, Jisung, Yoona and Taemin just to name a few. I know that it is incredibly common for idols to debut at a young age, but no matter how common it is, I will always be bothered, even though they were trainees. As long as they're exposed to the public they will face the fame and face the negatives. Mnet's editing. There is so much to rant about this. I will even go as far as to make a video on this. First, let's talk about the screen time. There are different types of screen time, the positive and the bad. I will touch on the bad screen time later, but let's first talk about the distribution. Part 1 was horrible in the screen time distribution. It's obvious that the editors have favorites. With 23 people, I honestly don't understand how Mnet is literally unable to show some of the boys when one episode is like more than 1 hour long. I barely saw Jimin, Yoonwon and a couple others. I did not know the existence of some of the boys until they finally got a decent amount of screen time. I barely got to know some of the boys and I hate how they keep showing the same people. I do not hate them, but I wished Mnet showed the others more. Part 2 was better, I must say. However, Hanbin did not get much screen time compared to others. He only got fairly showed in the episode he got eliminated, which I think is unfair considering that he was the most popular contestant globally, and that 12 people is not many. Mnet, is it that difficult to ensure that all 12 has an equal amount of screen time? Next let's talk about Mnet's evil editing. OMG, it never goes away, it probably never will. I'll say a handful of the contestants in some way experienced evil editing, but I will primarily talk about Nikki, and a few others. First let's talk about Nikki. The evil editing primarily happened in part 1. He was characterized as selfish, greedy, and horrible center and singer, but I know he's a good person, and he wanted to help the group as much as he could. He even regretted and felt bad for the Islanders when Island got a low score during the Into the Island performance. He was only 14 during the show. The amount of hate he got was unacceptable. It was like he became a punching bag. It wasn't his fault. He's young. Like I mentioned earlier, the hate can negatively affect anyone. K in part 2 was edited shaking his head when Sunu and Daniel ranked first and second. He could have been shaking for something else and Mnet just decided to edit that clip. Seon was characterized as a trainee with no skill, and someone who constantly asked for others' help. There are so many other examples. The problem I have with Mnet's editing is the improper use of clips. There are hundreds and thousands of hours of the contestants being filmed. Of course the editors could not include everything, so they have to select the clips. The problem is the clips they used and how they edited it. They like to use the most dramatic clips. Clips of them crying or them having a hard time. Clips that stir up drama. Some examples are when EJ voted out Daniel, a close friend, and when Nikki voted out Taki, a close friend. All the contestants had to vote out someone. I hated how they had to specifically show these people. What we see on the episodes is solely based on Mnet's editing. We rely heavily on their editing to see the proper footage. To see what we need to see, Mnet's editing plays a huge role in global voting. Those who got lesser screen time will obviously get lesser votes, and those who are hated on more also gets lesser votes. It's common sense. You may argue and say that K-pop survival shows are meant for entertainment, but listen, the show means everything to the boys. They desperately need the show to reach their dreams. Imagine having a chance to debut but the editing may be the reason you did not debut. It's wrong and it does not sit right with me. Portraying human beings as bad is not entertaining, especially if it's not true. The boys are getting hate for something they could not control. They did not ask to be evil edited. No one asked for it, but Mnet did it because they wanted to make this survival show a K-drama. Is it rigged? This is not really a negative, but it is definitely something I wanted to talk about. We all know about the Produce rigging scandal. Apparently, all the seasons of Produce was rigged, and some people might have thought that Island was rigged as well since it's also under Mnet. Mnet should have learned their lesson after rigging Produce, so I trust that Island is not rigged. I am also keeping my fingers crossed. If it is, I am going to be very disappointed. Thousands or maybe even millions of fans from all over the world voted in hopes that our faves would make it to ENHYPEN. If it's rigged, all their efforts were pointless. All of the contestants' efforts were pointless since the final lineup was decided already. I do not want their efforts to go to waste, so I'm just hoping that it is not rigged. Looking at the rankings, it seems legit. It seems correct and logical, unlike Produce 48. I swear the rankings for Produce 48 made no sense. However, Some of the boys' rankings did feel strange. At beginning of part 2, Daniel was ranked second amongst the 12 boys, but as the competition progressed, his ranking got lower and I wondered why he was losing popularity. Or maybe something is up with the rankings? Similarly with Taki, I thought he was one of the more popular contestant but he ended up getting eliminated by global voting. The strangest of all was definitely the finale. When the announcer announced that the contestant ranked first performed Chamber 5, I bet all of you thought it was Sunu. Even if it was not Sunu, I thought Sunghoon was more likely to rank first. Then Jungwon's name popped out and I was so shocked. I was so happy since he is my bias, but it was so unexpected since he was ranked last in the previous episode. Speaking of Sunu, I was so shocked that he did not even end up in the top 6 for the global voting. He consistently ranked around the top when it came to global voting, but the finale was just so shocking to me. He made it as a member chosen by the producers, so I'm grateful for that. However, K did not make it. I was sad about him not making it to the final lineup since he was part of my ideal lineup. He worked so hard and he is the oldest contestant. He is a great leader and an ace on the show, so I really wanted him to debut. But when he didn't, I cried for 2 hours straight, but after a while I just accepted it. It happens to me a lot for survival shows when my faves don't make it. I get sad, but I accept that maybe they were not as popular. There is always a reason why someone did not make it. Unless Island is rigged, but I'm hoping it's not. There is a reason why the producers chose Sunu amongst the 3. So I just accepted it. I don't think it's rigged just because K did not make it. I just think there's a reason. Anyways, I don't want this show to be rigged. I can never let ENHYPEN end up like X1. Never. I have been ranting for God knows how long. Let's talk about something fun. The guest appearances. I low-key wanted to see G-Friend as well, but I'm already satisfied seeing BTS, 17, and TXT. I wished I saw more of TXT though. All I saw was just them reacting to the Islanders and giving a few speeches. I was so happy when I saw their reaction to Heesung when he was announced 5th. They looked so happy for him. 17's interaction with them is definitely my favorite. I would have liked to see all 13, but 4 was good enough for me. They all were having so much fun and it seemed like 17 were there to cheer up the Islanders. J, Taki and Sunu even got to dance alongside them. BTS's appearance was also great. BTS gave the boys so much advice and gave them gifts. It was honestly so nice because all the boys in Island look up to them. BTS were so encouraging and it made them feel better. Although, I do wish that BTS were able to see the Islanders in person like 17. Maybe BTS could have appeared during the BTS test. Other than that, I am satisfied. Now let's talk about ENHYPEN. I am very happy with the final lineup. The lineup included many aces and it's definitely a package group. Each of the boys have something different and unique to offer to the group. First, I want to talk about the name. This robot voice cannot even pronounce it properly, but I thought the name was strange. I get the meaning and all, but the name just sounds weird. I will have to get used to it in the future since they will obviously be using that name a lot. But for now, I don't really like it. In terms of concept, they might follow Big Hit's storyline. I watched this theory video from Lena Sunflower, so I think it is possible that ENHYPEN would be part of the Big Hit universe. So Big Hit might experiment with their concept and do whatever suits the storyline like other Big Hit groups. The boys can pull off anything, so I don't mind what concept they would do. Personally, I would like to see them do a concept like Flame On or Dive Into You. I think those concepts would look great on the boys since they seem to pull it off so well during the show. In terms of positions, other than the leader and Magni, I think they will have no fixed positions like TXT. I get that Nikki is probably the best dancer. Jungwon, Heesung and maybe Sunu are probably the best vocalists. So maybe positions could be assigned, but I'm not sure. I find it difficult. There are many aces, so I think they would not have fixed positions. Vocal parts could be shared amongst those stronger in vocals, and center parts could also be distributed fairly since all of them are center material. I do not think there will be rappers in ENHYPEN. In the show no one really rapped. If they had to make someone a rapper, maybe Nicki or Jake? I'm guessing their songs would be heavy in vocals, so I doubt they will need a rapper. For the leader, I actually would really like Jay to be the leader. On the show, whenever he was the leader he always led the team very well and he has shown great leadership skills. He also speaks very well. I could imagine him in award shows giving speeches because he just talks like a leader. It would be nice to see him as the leader, but I think Hee-seung is most likely to be the leader of ENHYPEN. He is definitely the most experienced and skillful out of all the boys, so he can help the team a lot. He has demonstrated strong leadership skills and can help the boys. He's also the oldest, and a lot of the time, the oldest is the leader. I can't wait for their debut. They're going to be amazing. They might win Rookie of the Year 2020 considering their popularity. Let's support ENHYPEN for their future. They will have more music and more content. I can't wait to see what ENHYPEN has to offer for us. Now let's get on with my thoughts on each member in ENHYPEN, starting with Jungwon. He is my bias, so I was so happy when he made it to the final lineup. For the finale I was holding on for dear life, hoping he'll debut. Even if he was ranked 6th or 7th, I just wanted him in the lineup. Then he ended up first and I literally screamed. I was so happy because I was rooting for him. Believe it or not, but I was unaware of his existence in the first few episodes. Jeonu was actually my first bias, but Jungwon wrecked me the moment he cracked his fingers and did whatever dance that was. He immediately stole my heart. I then rewatched the episodes of Island and was paying more attention to him. OMG, I can't believe I was blind. He has such a unique voice and he's a great dancer. I have a thing for guys with dimples and I am crazy for him. His smile is so precious and I love the little thing he does when he covers his face while laughing. I love him so much. I love his bowl cut hairstyle, he's just so adorable. Jae has been my sister's bias since episode 1. For some reason I did not like him that much. I did notice him and I thought he was handsome, but I did not find anything that special about him. Then as the episodes went on, I started acknowledging his leadership skills and he became one of my faves. Fire was definitely his best performance because he was the center. Anyways, I am so happy that he made it to ENHYPEN. He was someone needed in the group. When he was announced second, my sister and I screamed. I did not expect second, but I was just so happy to care about the rankings. He is definitely the funniest on the show. He had many iconic moments and we all know about Ras. He always made me laugh and I hope he makes me laugh more in the future. I fell in love with Jake the moment he entered. He is so handsome and had that innocent vibe. I was quite sad when he dropped to ground after the Into the Island performance because he had some technical issues, but he managed to get back to Island and I was happy. He improved so much during the show and I loved seeing his growth. He gained so much confidence and got better every performance. Flicker is so iconic, I must say. He looked so good and deserved to win first place by producers voting. I already smell his duality. From Flicker to Chamber 5 it seems like he can pull off anything. I love him so much and I was happy when he made it to ENHYPEN. I was scared that he might not get in, but it was such a relief that he did. His smile is precious and his Aussie accent gives me life.
A happy little Aussie boy named Jake. But one day, he felt a spark in his heart which grew into a dream. And from then, his hard and lonely journey to Island began.
Believe it or not, but I fell for the evil editing. My stupid ass actually thought Nikki was a bad person and I hate my old self for that. I was such a fool. I only realized that he was evil edited after rewatching the episodes. I hate Mnet so much for portraying him as a bad person. He is a great leader who wanted to help his teammates as much as possible. He's only 14, and he had to bear so much responsibility since he was usually the leader for the grounders. He was so confident at first, but as the show progressed I noticed how Nikki was losing his confidence. This was something I noticed. I might be wrong about it. He always felt like it was his fault whenever his group got a negative score. He felt that he had a lot of responsibility because he was center or leader for some performances. I want him to know that he did his best, and that it was not his fault. For the DNA performance, he was desperate and wanted to do whatever he could to get a good score. Even though Kay was unhappy about it, I understand the situation. The editing over-exaggerated that scene in my opinion. They made both Kay and Nikki look like bad guys, but no, it's the editing. Now that he's in the group I hope for all the best for his future. I hope he's more confident and happier now. He deserved his spot after all he had been through. He may not be the strongest vocally, but he a great dancer and I can't wait to see more of his skills in the future. For some reason I was actually surprised that he was ranked 5th. I thought he would be in the top 3 because he is so talented, but the rankings don't matter anymore. I'm just happy that he got into the group. He was someone that had to make it. If he did not make it, I would burn down Mnet's building. I knew from episode 1 that he would end up in ENHYPEN. He performed Boss and did so well. They mentioned that he trained together with TXT, so I just knew that he had to make it. It would literally be a crime if he did not. He has everything a group needs. A leader, a vocal, a dancer, a center, a funny guy. Hee-seung is everything. I love his personality and he always made me smile. Hee-seung doing aegyo or anything cute is so funny. I love his voice and I can't wait to see more of him in the future with ENHYPEN.
셋. 희승이.
I was unaware of his existence until the dance performance. I seriously could not believe that I was sleeping on this handsome, talented, incredible ice skater. He gave up ice skating to be an idol, and that just shows how passionate he is about being an idol. He is quiet, but he has such a fun personality. He is someone I would love to be friends with. I can literally watch him on ice all day. I do ice skating as a hobby. So when I found out that he was an ice skater, I was so happy, and without realizing it, I spent about an hour just watching him skate. He deserves the nickname Ice Prince. He is a prince and he's so graceful on ice. He became one of my faves and I was worried at the finale when he was not in the top 5. I was scared that he would not debut, but when he was announced 6th, I was so happy and relieved. He gave up ice skating to be on the show, and he is so deserving of this spot. Okay, this is another person my stupid ass slept on. I was unaware of his existence until he performed Save Me. I fell in love with his vocals and I started paying more attention to him. I became head over heels for him as the show progressed. When he made it to part 2, he was just so eye-catching that I had to pay attention to him. I was very shocked that he was not in the top 6 in global voting. He was one of the most popular members on the show. I guess he did not make it because the global audience thought he was safe and decided to vote for the others who's more likely to get eliminated. But look what happened, lol. I was happy when he ended up as the member chosen by the producers. But he looked kind of sad as he was announced, since he realized that the people around him got eliminated. Anyways, he deserved his spot. He is so charismatic, and his charisma is unique. He is so adorable and his smile cures depression. This video is more than 20 minutes long and I apologize for that. Let's end it here. I hope you enjoyed watching. Tell me your thoughts on Island in the comments and I will see you next time. Stay safe and stay healthy. Subscribe because it's free and stan ENHYPEN because it's also free. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
현실이 돼 저 위에 승리의 깃발을 꽂아